Hello kids, this is Faizan Hussain and we were studying chapter Tissue class 9 biology. In the last class we have studied about different types of plant tissues. So we were studying the different types of plant tissue, and one of the type of plant tissue we are going to study today, that is meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. So here, meristematic. Meristematic is a word which is derived from a Greek word. It is derived from a Greek word, that is meristos. Meristos, what is the meaning of meristos? Means divided. So, I hope it is clear now. Meristematic tissue. Tissues are, you can say, group of cells, and meristematic means divided, right? So here, these are the group of dividing cells. We can say, right? Group of dividing cells. Right? So we can call the meristematic tissues as the group of dividing cells. These are the tissues which divide throughout their life. These are the tissues which divide throughout their life. So here we can see divide. Right? Divide throughout their life. So here, these divide throughout their life, but these tissues are present in a certain part only. These tissues are present in certain parts only. So that growth is limited to the certain parts only, right? So here we can see another point. Present in certain part. So here growth is restricted to certain parts. Therefore, as you can say, these tissues are present in certain part only. So the growth is limited to certain part only. Limited, or you can say restricted to certain only, right? And the part where growth you can say take place are known as meristems. Known as, what are they known as? Meristem. Right? So here these parts are known as meristems where growth take place. Got it? I hope it is clear. Now here these are responsible. These tissues are responsible for primary and secondary growth. Now you must be wondering what is primary and what is secondary growth. So don't worry, I am going to explain you. So here we can write another point. They are responsible for primary and secondary. primary and secondary growth. So here, what is actually primary growth and what is secondary growth? So if we are talking about primary growth, so generally when the plant is there and it increases in its height, like suppose there is a small plant, in a pot, and here leaves are present and here flower is present, and here with the passage of time, we can see that this plant is increasing in its height, right? So here, this is the primary growth. Primary growth is, you can say, increase in height, right? Increase in height and the size of the plant result in the primary growth. So here it is responsible for the primary growth. And what is secondary growth? What is secondary growth? Like you can see, if you plant a tree, a small tree with few leaves, and with the passage of time you can see it grows into a big tree, right? Here its height is increased, but with the height its, you can say, its girth is also increased. Girth, you can say, the wideness, you can say girth, or you can say wide. Width or wideness, you can say. So here this is the secondary growth. This is the primary growth, and here it is secondary growth. Now here, how these cells are divided. Suppose we can take here, it is a tissue or box of meristem, you can say. So now here there are cells present. The cells can be, you can say, oval, spherical, or you can say rectangular in shape, right? So here the cells are present. These cells are divided into new cells, right? These cells are divided into new cells, and they are also left with, you can say, certain cells which do not divide further. So the cells which do not divide further and are derived from meristematic tissue are known as derivatives. These are known as derivatives. And the cell which are, you can say, which are formed by division and can be further divided, or you can say can be divided throughout their life. These are known as initials. Got it? So these cells can divide further, you can say, throughout the life of a plant. So that's why they are responsible for the growth in the plant. In the plant, growth is, you can say, for the lifetime. But in the animals, it is up to a certain age only. Person grows up to a certain age and stops, right? Height is limited only. But in plants, you can say, the growth is, you can say, unlimited. The plant grow throughout their life, and it is all due to the meristematic tissues. These tissues grow throughout their life, right? So I hope with this it is clear to you. So here, how the size increases. So like these are the cells. We can see These are the cells or group of cells, and these group of cells further divide, and you can see here with that the height is also increasing and the width is also increasing, right? With this, the cells divides and the number is increasing. In this way, they are responsible for primary and secondary growth. Now, we can study their characteristics. So, what are the characteristics of the meristematic tissues? So, if we are talking about the characteristics of the meristematic tissues, so we can say they are having small cells. Characteristics. So first is small. These cells are not much large, and you can say these are dividing. So these are the small cells with thin cell wall. Thin cell wall. Why thin cell wall? Because these are the dividing cell. Okay, you can see if I draw what is cell wall. First of all, I told you in the previous chapter the cell wall is, you can say, outer covering of the plant cell. It is present only in the plant cell only. Suppose this is a cell and here it is the cell wall, right? So these are the dividing cells, and if we need to divide these cells, so here it would be easier if we are having thick cell or thin cell. So obviously, if we are having thin cell, it would be easier to divide, right? So it is the characteristics that they are having the thin cell, which helps in the division. Next, you can see prominent nuclei. Prominent nuclei, or you can say prominent nucleus. The nucleus is large in shape, and nucleus is responsible for the division. Mainly, nucleus is very important for the cell division. So here it is prominent in the shape, and it is having the large shape, and it is centrally located and helps in the division of the cell. Got it? Next, you can see dense cytoplasm. Dense cytoplasm. With the dense cytoplasm, we can say this dense cytoplasm helps in the division. As if we are having you can say watery or fluid cytoplasm, so will it be easier to divide? No, it would not be easier. So the dense cytoplasm can be, you can say, handled easily if we divide the cells. So here it is again one of the characteristics of the meristematic tissue, that we are having the dense cytoplasm, right? Here the shape of cells can be, you can say, oval, spherical, as I told you earlier only. Next, we can say the cell divides throughout their life. These cells divide throughout their life, you know, that's why they are known as meristematic cells. And next, these cells are undifferentiated cells. Undifferentiated cells, right? So these cells are undifferentiated. These are not differentiated into different types. So these are the same or simple type which can be further divided and helps in the primary and secondary growth of the plant and can divide throughout the life. I hope it is clear to you all, right? Now the types of meristematic tissue we will study in the next class.